Hi everyone! Welcome to part 6 of Raise the Beast Sincerely. Please like our videos and subscribe to our channel for more content. Are you ready? Let's get into it. In the last part, Blondina avoided being murdered by Adelaide, thanks to Amin, who went to the Emperor and Lard to ask permission to marry his princess. The Emperor approved and finally decided to act like a father to Blondina. Adelaide, on her side, has full control over the descendant of Baharan, and so, over the divine beasts. Amin holds Blondina close in his arms and starts dancing with her, showing all the moves he learned with Lart earlier. There may be no music to accompany, but none of them seem to care, only enjoying the beauty of being alone, looking into each other's eyes, dancing under the moonlight. Blondina remembers what she felt when they first met, how she had always felt about him. He confesses his love and asks her to love him back, to which she replies with a smile on her face that she will always be by his side, as it's where she belongs. He seems surprised at first, but is utterly touched and clearly speechless. He hugs and kisses her endlessly, happier than ever. Blondina dreams again about this beast who looks like Amin and this young woman who looks like her. They both chat about some people coming, people that the beast doesn't like. As they are hugging, Blondina wakes up from this dream, called by Lucy. The lady-in-waiting enjoins the princess to get ready, as this day is a very special day, since it's Amin's party. For the occasion, Blondina dresses up in her most stunning and fabulous gown. The ball is simply astonishing. The Emperor obviously put a lot of effort into the preparation, and Amin even came up with a masquerade idea so everyone can chat with whomever they want, without any consideration for race, age, or social rank. She spots Amin discussing very casually to the Emperor and Lart, which intrigues her since they have never really been close. A strange man comes to talk to Blondina, and she recognizes him as a divine beast in his human form. He keeps on asking weird questions about her smell and what race her and Amin's future child will be, human or divine beast. Another beast pulls his ear to make him shut, as he makes the princess incredibly uncomfortable. She introduces them as Hala and Shanti, this one also proudly introducing the baby she carries as Zen. They leave a very puzzled Blondina, who remembers them as little kittens who were with Amin at the coming of age ceremony not so long ago. And now they're expecting a baby. She thinks about Amin behaving like a spoiled kitten the day before, and she finally starts to wonder whether or not they are in a relationship. The Emperor interrupts the party to raise a toast to the new friendship between humans and beasts, celebrating a brighter future for both races. After his speech, Adelaide comes to him to congratulate him on managing to have the beasts under control. Her father makes her shut, as she uses very controversial wordings. He explains to her that even though he used to think like her, he changed his mind and preferred to choose peace. He also mentions that because Blondina was the architect of all this situation, preserving this relationship was her role, and Adelaide needed to figure out what her own role was. Adelaide joins Philip to indicate to him a change of plan and to demand to Joseph that he gets in position to act. Meanwhile, at the party, Shanti enjoys all the food he can find. Hala, on the other hand, chooses this moment to talk to Amin about some recent disappearances among the beasts. She also mentions a distortion she felt in the forest. She put that on her pregnancy, but still feels off about the forest. Amin agrees, as he went every night into the forest, only to find it weirdly silent and full of ripped-off butterflies. Furthermore, he trusts Hala's feelings, as they were always trustworthy. He is distracted by some random humans bad-mouthing beasts. Amin allows Shanti to put on a show to snub them all and remind whoever needs it of the power of his kind. He puts on the most serious look on his face and grabs one of the humans by the throat with one hand, threatens him, and throws him on the ground. As he turns back to Amin and Hala, something changes within him. Something that Hala and Blondina can feel. He changes to his beast form and heads threateningly to the Emperor. In a corner, Adelaide orders Joseph to attack the Emperor with the beast. Shanti was unconsciously very close to killing him, but Amin arrives just in time to grab him by the head and stop the attack. The Emperor is now sitting on the ground, Shanti above him confused, with a lot of halberds pointed at him. While Hala scolds her future baby daddy for his behavior, Amin asks the Emperor if he is fine. The other human attacked by Shanti loudly protests, demanding the beast to take responsibility for their actions. Surprisingly, it's the Emperor himself who defends his new friends. He explains to the Marquess that his role is to protect his people, him included, and that he would never hesitate to betray the beasts as needed. However, he would never if they attacked because of humans. Shanti, feeling better, intervenes to apologize and lighten everyone's mood. Still, Amin is concerned about what happened. Adelaide congratulates Joseph for his outstanding performance. She encourages him to keep on practicing to become even stronger and control the Black Beast, and asks him to only be loyal to her. The Emperor is getting healed because of an injury he got by falling. Hala, witnessing this, scolds Shanti even more, to which the poor beast answers that he had no idea what happened, as he was just playing until someone messed up with his mind. This triggers Amin, who rushes to examine Shanti. He indeed noticed that his friend's eyes change colors to turn the same as Blondina's ones for a second. He plans to ask Elder Aisha, who is the oldest beast in the clan, if she knows something about this phenomenon. He goes to Blondina to hug her and get back to the party. A bit later, Amin and Blondina are both resting after dancing. She praises his new skills and jokes about him almost passing off as a human. He sits her on the balcony railing and seems suddenly a bit off. She encourages him to tell her what is going on, so he breathes out, quickly explains that despite all the coaching he got from Lart and the Emperor, he has always been direct to her, and finally he asks the question, "Will you marry me?" She looks at him with stupor at first, then laughs, realizing her own cluelessness, and says yes. Lart coughs, embarrassed. He apologizes for the interruption and lets them know that the Emperor is waiting for them to make a very important announcement. To Blondina's surprise, Amin agrees to go there instead of throwing a tantrum for being interrupted. Inside the palace, everyone has taken off their masks. The Emperor publicly congratulates his daughter for her engagement and wishes her all the best. Amin suggests raising a toast, followed by the Emperor, so everyone in the room raises their glass to the newly betrothed. Blondina is confused, not only about the situation, but also by Amin's reaction to it. She plays along and asks him if by any chance he knew something about this plan. He proudly answers that he organized it with the Emperor and Lart. When she asked what would happen if she had said no, he affirms that he knew she would have accepted because they confessed before. This is when she realizes that he was never playing along. Elder Aisha comes to congratulate them. As she starts to expose Amin, he interrupts her by mentioning that he would come to her soon to discuss. She thanks Blondina for all her effort in building peace and leaves. The princess notices her sister behind her, devilishly smirking, making her suspicious. Later that night, Amin joins Blondina in her room, ready for some sport. After that night, Blondina had to stay in her bed for an entire day, sick because of the impregnation. When she gets better, Amin keeps on turning around her, worried, so she suggests going out to take some fresh air during a walk. He thinks about the garden, but she has another idea. They are both strolling down the alleys of the city market. Amin is still concerned, but Blondina lives the time of her life, hidden under her cape. She spots some necklaces for dogs and cats. She mentions to the merchant having a black cat that she would love to give a necklace to, but since he's really picky, she hesitates. When she finally decides to take one, Amin jumps in to buy two. She asks why two, and he answers that there is one for him and one for their future kitten, while making a naughty joke. She sees two happy kids playing in the streets, who remind her of Amin and her when they were kids playing together. She realizes how much happiness being with him brought into her life, and promises him to stay with him forever. He also remembers what his life used to be before and after he met Blondina, from miserable to belonging. On their way back to the palace, Amin lets Blondina know that the day before he would meet up with Elder Aisha and to fulfill his duty as leader of the divine beasts. In the forest, Aisha meets Ravi, one of the missing beasts. She immediately notices the color of his eyes, proving that he was under control. She asks who does that, and Joseph shows up, revealing himself, followed by Adelaide. Aisha is appalled to see the human princess, because it implies that humans want to start a new war. She encourages the young princess to turn back to where she belongs before she suffers even more with losses and regrets. Adelaide touches Joseph's shoulder in a sign of action, while affirming that she will never have any regrets as everything will return to its right place. Aisha resists the young man's power, enough to make him doubt his abilities. Adelaide notices him struggling and glares at him, implying that he would die in case of failure. He changes plans to use Ravi to attack the elder, who can barely defend herself. Amin and Blondina are hugging in her bed. She fights against sleep and asks Amin if he thinks she really stole everything from Adelaide, and wonders what she could have done to make her sister bully her directly and go so far out of the way. Finally, she falls asleep, promising Amin that she would protect him no matter what. After kissing her on the forehead, he leaves to meet the elder. Blondina dreams again about this lady who looks like her. A blonde-haired man with golden eyes approaches her, calling her Rafian. His name is Baharan, and both of them are deities who brought peace within humans. But the war has started again, so she gives him her sword, full of her power, so he can use it to bring back peace to the continent. After promising that he would fight alongside humans, he leaves, and the beast shows up. He tells her to give up her power as she fulfilled her duty to make the land beautiful and livable, so she can finally rest. She asks him if he would still love her as a mortal. He transforms into his human form, perfect doppelganger of Amin, and declares that no matter what shape or form she might be, she will always be herself and he would always love her. Rafian feels happy. She puts her hand on the beast's forehead to give him the rest of her power. Baharan appears, outraged that she would land the power of a god to a mere beast and become mortal. He asks her why she gave him her sword if she plans to run away from her godly duties, to which she replies that not only she is tired of being a god, but also she sent him to give humankind a final blessing as they are mature enough not to need them any longer. But Baharan is not ready to give up on his ruler role over humans. He blames the beast for poisoning Rafian's mind and jealously stabs him with the sword. The beast rolls on the ground, barely able to stand anymore. As the god is about to finish him, Rafian uses her remaining power to stop him and is ready to give him what he wants. The beast notices Blondina, shocked behind, and calls her for help, which wakes her up, tears in her eyes and confusion in her mind. She barely remembers her dream, only the look in the beast's eyes when he called her. She wonders if she has these dreams because she worries about Adelaide and plans to go talk to her as soon as possible. The next morning, Lart is in her apartment, talking about his plans for the next edition of the hunting ceremony. But Blondina is no fool and asks directly why he is really here with her, so early in the morning, when he is supposed to be busy and considering that Lucy won't show up until the afternoon. The young prince is suddenly really uncomfortable, remembering Amin passing by his room the night before to demand that he stick to the princess while he would be gone. And of course, she must know nothing about it. He jabbers about whatever excuse, and she gives up, hoping that Lucy might keep him busy while she goes to talk to Adelaide. About their sister, Blondina asks Lart about the relationship they used to have when they were kids. He surprises her by explaining that they weren't as close as she imagined, because Adelaide was only showing up when the Emperor was here or during social events. Otherwise, he used to be alone. He inquires about why she's curious about it, and she honestly replies that she wants to know why Adelaide hates her this much, considering that Lart was the one bullying her hard and not the young girl, who has always been measured. Lart mentions the time he spotted a conversation with Adelaide and the Emperor about finding the descendant of Baharan. He affirms that this is the moment she changed personality, and that despite the Emperor's plans changing, she kept this mission in mind. Blondina connects the dots between this information and all the recent events, and snaps when she realizes that Adelaide might have already found the descendant of Baharan. She gets up brutally and enjoins Lart to come with her to talk to their sister in this instant. However, he interrupts her, with the will to talk to her first, pretending that she would more likely listen to him since they grew up together, when in reality, he just feels guilty for not stopping her prior. Adelaide and Joseph are still in the forest. He estimates having now the ability to control up to 20 beasts, and Adelaide seems pretty satisfied with this number. She turns back to the palace, tired, and when he tries to follow her, he hears a voice behind him, affirming that he is way more powerful than he thinks he is. The voice also enjoins him to go find something in the temple if he wants to increase his ability, so Joseph repeats it to the princess. At the palace, they meet Lart in front of Adelaide's room. He asks her to take some tea with him since they haven't done that in a very, very, very long time. She agrees, and while she walks to her room, Lart asks who is the man accompanying her, who doesn't look like a mere servant. He also asks if she has truly found the descendant of Baharan, to which she replies that she did, with a smile on her face. He tries to convince her about the lack of meaning of her actions since humankind and beasts have finally come to peace thanks to the treaty. But she doesn't hear him and keeps on exposing her idea that to bring peace to the Empire, humans must have all power over the beasts, and to allow that, she will become Empress. Lart is flabbergasted, but composed himself back and lets her know how dangerous he thinks she is and that no matter what, he will prevent her from becoming Empress. He stands that other than the descendant of Baharan, who is pretty much no one, she has no plan nor support to access the throne, when he is going along with their father's politics and has Blondina with the divine beasts by his side. He warns her to stop this instant, so everything would be forgotten and they can move on. She has 24 hours to decide before he takes actions to protect the ones he loves from her madness. After he leaves, Adelaide urges Joseph to come with her, taking advantage of this window Lart offers her before he goes to the Emperor. The prince turns back to Blondina's room, only to discover that she left for the beast's forest. And so did Adelaide. This is getting intense. What do you think about Blondina and Amon being finally engaged? Can you imagine Adelaide succeeding in her plan? What can happen now? Let us know in the comment section, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel so we can unlock the grand finale of this manhwa. See you soon!